Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I am your average guy, John Corelli. We're going to light up a little candle. As you can hear in the background, nature's shift change is occurring as I speak. The cicadas are going away and the crickets are coming in. Let's talk. Let me raise my twisted and sweet glass full of coffee to you guys. It's not a glass, it's a mug. Oh well. Let's start off with a joke. Old joke that, no, not super old. It's a few years old. You know, when you work in the schools like I do, you often see examples of bad parenting, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. Just bad parenting stuff that I've seen recently and in the recent and distant past, and they can easily fill 10 minutes. So the joke I did, and this actually did happen for the most part. You know, George Carlin once said a joke is just a story exaggerated, really. That was just one thing way exaggerated, and that's generally what a lot of jokes are, you know. So I was in this pizza place. I was waiting for my pie to cook because I'm a real Italian. I don't get a slice, I get the whole pie. So I'm waiting, and this really attractive mom comes in. She's probably in her late 20s, and she's got beautiful children. She's got like a 6-year-old daughter, no, more like a 4-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old boy. Dad's not there. I'm just watching him while I'm waiting for my pizza to cook, and the girl's messing around. You know, she's messing around the chairs, and she falls. And as a parent, a seasoned parent who, between my two kids, has 40 years of parenting experience, I know when a kid's really hurt and when a kid's crying for attention. And this was the latter. So this girl fell. She looked around. She saw me, and I kind of just looked at her. And then her mom wasn't paying attention. Her mom was on the phone, looking at her phone, and she goes, "Baaaad," and just starts crying. And mom's like, oh no, my precious little baby. She hugs her, which you should. You should give, when your kid, even if it's a desperate cry for attention, I think you give them that attention at first. But you should also be paying attention so you know that she didn't really need that attention. It sounds like an enigma riddle, but anyway. so she turns, she goes, and she goes to the chair. And I've seen teachers do this at my elementary school when I worked there a few years ago. They hit the chair, go, "Bad chair." And she did it twice. And she goes, "Bad chair." The chair is not at fault here. You, as a parent, not managing your child, are at fault, and your child, for not knowing the dangers of that chair, is at fault. Are at fault. I'm bad at English this time of day, guys. But the chair, an inanimate object with no brain, is not at fault. Don't blame the chair. So in the joke, I say, you know, I saw this example of bad parenting, and I did what I thought was reasonable to further humanity and continue our evolution to being a smarter and better species. So I took that mom over my knee, and I said, "Bad mom." Bad mom. And there's more to that joke, but I haven't told it in a while. Like, I also say, oh yeah, that was the other thing. Then when I told the joke, I told it better. But I haven't told it in a couple years. Yeah, part of it was this little girl, 4 years old, had, I swear to God, I can't make this up, had pants that said "juicy" right on her little 4-year-old butt. So when I talk about spanking the mom, I said, yeah, I took this mom and spanked her because the juicy apple did not fall far from the juicy tree. And that usually got a laugh. But it depends how perverse you like your humor, but if you like it perverse, that usually did well. So here's to me and my awesome joke. But it's things like that that create jokes, you know. I used to work with adults with special needs, and when I was working there, we had my supervisor, actually, she was pregnant, and she was smoked while she was pregnant. And I've decided at that age, that was like several years ago, I was in my mid-40s when that happened. I just looked at her and I was like, I didn't say anything, but she could tell I was not pleased the way I was looking at her, and nor should I be. And she's just like, you know, you can say what you want, it's my choice. And I was like, I didn't even start a conversation with you, but since you're going to launch into this and act like I'm the one with the problem, and I just said, yeah, too bad your baby doesn't have a choice. She's like, I was like, you know the things that can happen when you smoke, right? Birth defects, including childhood asthma, adult asthma. A lot of horrible things can happen when you smoke. Brain damage, because you're deciding that don't have the willpower, and it's my choice, and I just want to. I don't give a shit. Basically, is what you're saying when you're lighting up that cigarette and inhaling it into your lungs, and giving that to your unborn child. Having said that, I also saw a recent example of that where this woman said she was drinking tequila and she's still breastfeeding. And I was like, oh, that's great. That's really good. And apparently the father of the child said, um, you're having tequila and breastfeeding? And she's like, yes. And, it's one thing to be wrong, but it's quite another level of shittiness and stupidity to be wrong and have an attitude about it like you're right. Don't drink if you're breastfeeding. Don't drink if you're pregnant. Don't smoke if you're breastfeeding or pregnant. I used to, we had some friends when it was back when Dylan and I were married. Um, we would go to their basement for like get-togethers. They weren't really parties. Ooh, so that's it. Sometimes the lights go off and it really doesn't jibe with the rest of the video. A lot of times it feels like I say something and makes the lights go off. More coffee. And we would have get-togethers. I think Dante was young or a toddler, and these people had a young kid. I think we had another couple that also was there. So like 9 or 10 of us there. Get some together for something mild, like a Bronco game, and we were all pretty mild. We weren't drinking our asses off. We maybe have a beer or two, but the kids get together, play, and watch football or something, or maybe watch a movie. There's always a mild get together because I'm always, that's another thing. Don't get drunk around your kids. Don't act like it's a barbecue. I'm gonna do what I want. No, you're a parent. You shouldn't do just whatever you want anymore. You have an example to set for your children. Don't get wasted on your piss Keystone Light while you're supposedly parenting. No, go out, and if you really need to get drunk, I guess you do. I don't know. I haven't felt the need in a very, very long time. Ever since I became a parent, maybe a little tipsy, but like sloppy drunk at a barbecue during the day in front of your kids and your friends. No, you look like an idiot. So, and just you excusing it is once again you just being shitty and acting like you're above reproach. Anyway, so back to this, the parties we would have. No, like I said, they weren't really parties, they just get-togethers. And by the way, that's another thing. Once you're a parent, you probably shouldn't party anymore. You should just have little get-togethers. There's a big difference. But these people would smoke, and we'd go in their basement. Their basement had a window, on the upper part of the basement. Nice finished basement, and they're blowing smoke out into the cold air, and you can just see it blowing right back in. The hot air from the house is just sucking it right back in, and the two of them were both smokers, and I'm just like, me and Dylan are just watching like, you idiots. We weren't even happy about it because Dante was getting some of that secondhand smoke. We knew that 99.9% of the time he wasn't around that type of atmosphere and that type of unhealthy air, so we let it slide. Plus, it was in our house, didn't feel like we could really say anything. Come to find out, these lights make me cuckoo. But come to find out, later on, their little kid ended up with childhood asthma, and they're like, gee, I didn't think it was the smoking. You think? So, what have we learned tonight? I hope we haven't learned anything, because it's common sense. It's really common sense. Don't do stupid things around your children, or especially when they're in the womb, or when they're very tiny, and things can affect them on a huge scale. I've seen it. I mentioned it just the other night. I think maybe even last night, with kids not getting nutritionally what they need, and how frustrating that is. The whole I don't know, it doesn't fly anymore. The people like giving a baby bottle full of soda or Kool-Aid. Well, I didn't know. Didn't you? Did you really not know? Did nobody say anything? Did you maybe not pick up your phone and stop playing Candy Crush for a fucking minute and go, oh, maybe I should check and see if Kool-Aid is good for children? It's not. Babies especially. Use your brain. Use that phone where you have every piece of information you could ever need, and get on there and learn something. Don't be an idiot. Because now it's just willful ignorance, and that's the worst kind of ignorance. When it's willful. It's like, oh, the information's out there, I'm just choosing not to get it. Drives me crazy. And with that, I got about 15 minutes, or 15 minutes. Already feels like 15 minutes. I know, guys, I can go on. But that's about all I got to say. I'm looking forward to having students in next week and permeating their brains with my bullshit. It'll be fun. I love my job, and I love my team, and I'm really looking forward to getting it on next week and actually having kids in the school and doing my best with them. All right, thanks. I went a little over. Have a great night. Have a great day. Have a great whatever you do. See you next time. Bye.